You're listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Thursday the 4th of June, 2026. It is 76 days after the spring equinox. It is 17 days before the summer solstice. Today is the anniversary of the Tiananmen massacre in Beijing, China. In today's episode, Linden Trees, Crossing the Country by Train, The Tragic Ship, the St. Louis, Noah Weil, and Tiananmen. The sun rises today at 5:25 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:54 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:23 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:56 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 9:38 p.m. The length of daytime today is 1 minute, 1 second longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 84% full at midday. The moon sets today at 8:47 a.m. and then it rises again at 11:58 p.m. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, high tide, 1:22 a.m., 1 meter 55. In the morning, low tide, 7:39 a.m., 6 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 1:57 p.m., 1 meter 37. In the evening, low tide, 7:51 p.m., 30 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, the linden trees are finally in flower, among the last of our spring-blooming flowering trees. They are planted all over the neighborhood. The two most popular varieties are little leaf and silver lindens. They make great shade trees with thick canopies filled with charmingly asymmetrical heart-shaped leaves. The flowers hang on long stalks attached to thin, leaf-like wings. To really see the flowers, you have to stand under the tree. They hang down in clusters, upside-down bouquets. And because many of our trees are relatively young, the lowest branches may just touch your head. Stand underneath and smell the rich, sweet blooms. No wonder they are so popular with honeybees. Commemorations. On this day in 1876, an express train arrived in San Francisco just 84 hours after departing New York City. Dubbed the Transcontinental Express, it used the tracks of many railroads to knit together a route: the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Pittsburgh, Fort Wayne, and Chicago Railway, the Chicago and Northwestern Railway, the Union Pacific Railroad, and the Central Pacific Railroad. It was just 7 years after railway track connecting the Pacific to the Atlantic had been laid. The astounding speed of the Transcontinental Express completely changed people's sense of distance in this vast country. A chilling anniversary. On this day in 1939, the passenger liner, the St. Louis, was denied permission to land in Florida. The German ship was owned by the Hamburg America Line and was under the command of Captain Gustav Schroeder. The ship had left Hamburg on May 13th, bound for Havana, carrying 937 passengers. Most of them were Jewish refugees fleeing Nazism. Cuba refused them entry. On this day, so did the United States, forbidding the ship even to dock. Captain Schroeder considered grounding the ship on the Florida coast, but the U.S. Coast Guard tailed his ship to prevent this. Canada then also refused the ship. The St. Louis sailed back to Europe, where Schroeder ensured his passengers could safely disembark in Antwerp. England, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands allowed the refugees to stay. Captain Schroeder returned to Hamburg with the empty ship. After the war broke out, many of the refugees found themselves in occupied Europe, and they were killed in Nazi death camps. Never forget. Today we wish a happy birthday to Noah Weil, born this day in 1971. We first knew him as Dr. John Carter in the NBC medical drama ER. It's a pleasure to see him now in the new HBO drama The Pit, where he plays Dr. Robbie Rabinovich. He is also an executive producer of the show. Happy birthday, Noah Weil. It feels like you haven't aged a bit. In our preparation for July 4th, we offer you these words from the late Sandra Day O'Connor, who served on the Supreme Court from 1981 to 2006. She wrote this: "The practice of democracy is not passed down through the gene pool. It must be taught and learned anew by each generation of citizens. Families and parents have a key role to play, yet our schools remain the one universal experience we all have to gain civic knowledge and skills. That is the civic mission of schools." Amen to that. Today we mark the day in 1989 when the People's Liberation Army entered Tiananmen Square in Beijing and violently ended the pro-democracy protests there. We remember those who died, or were wounded, or were sent to prison for seeking reform and a new political beginning in China. Remember them today. And that is the Observatory, Thursday the 4th of June, 2026.